Well, hello there. So, back by popular demand, SSH keys. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about SSH keys, Linux and Windows, and adding your public key to AWS. We'll also talk about downloading your private key from them. I'll show you how to do that. I'll tell you never to do it over and over again. Let's get going. Okay, so first thing, I'm still in the Learner Lab. A plug for Linux. If you look here when I'm running commands, these are basically Linux commands. This is a Linux command line. Okay, or pretty dang close to it. Okay, so you should learn Linux. I will link my Linux playlist down below. Okay, SSH keys. So, let's see, command. I'm running Fedora. So, Fedora Linux. Let's get the command line nice and big for you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save off my current SSH keys. So, I'm going to go and, print my working directory, home jstrain, go into my working to my key directory .ssh, just see the ones that are there. And because I'm going to put this in, well, I'm going to move a default key. So I'm going to move this public key to 2024.pub and move ID RSA to 2024 RSA. Just 2024. Okay. Go back to where I was. It's just my home. Okay. So the command to create SSH keys on Windows, on Linux, on Mac is SSH-keygen. Okay. And it's going to try and create it. And by default, oh, wow, things have updated. By default, it's going to place it in a certain directory, home jstrain.ssh, and it's going to give it some specific information here. I did not know that this changed, so I learned something new every day. Usually it's ID underscore RSA. Something new's changed, so I'll have to understand that. So I can leave it at the default. I'm going to create two. I'm going to leave one at the default, and I'm going to leave the passphrase empty. It's like a password for it. It's a good thing to use, but I don't like them. Sometimes I encrypt mine, which is similar, but okay. I'm not going to use this for anything outside of videos. So I don't care about you seeing some things. Now, so if I look so if I do ls.ssh, I'll see that I have two new files here. This ID and ID pub. Okay, those were created. Now, I'm going to create another one. SSH keygen. And I want to keep this the same. I want to keep all my keys in the same area. Okay. Another one. I'm going to get rid of the passphrase. Cool. So now if I do an ls-ltrah, you can look up the flags. Check out my other playlist. You'll learn .ssh. So here I did another one, and there's my ID. So those I created. Every key has a public version. I think of the public version as the lock, and here's the key. You can install the lock in many different places. You can give the public key to wherever you'd like. It's the private key you keep private. Okay, now, so I have those, which, by the way, I need to move, or do I? We'll find out. We'll find out together. Okay, so I'm going to click on AWS. Going to log me in automatically. And I'm going to go to EC2. Well, you know what? I'm going to show you something since I don't know how new you are to this. Going back, these are ones I've recently used. That might not be there for you. So you might have to go to Services and find it under Compute, or you can look for EC2 here. There's lots of different ways to find it. In fact, there's another one right here, All Services. So, and Compute EC2. Okay, there's lots of different ways to find this. So we're going to go EC2, and we're going to go to keys, which I believe are towards the bottom. We have key pairs right here. Sweet. So we have our Voc key, which was created because this is in a Learner Lab. That was created by someone else, not us. So we're going to actions import key pair. And I'm going to do new 2024. I should call this new ED and browse. And this is where I don't know if it's going to let me browse. Oh, it does browse. So I'm going to do the ID pub. If you notice, none of the private keys show up, just the public ones. Okay. And import key pair. And I only gave them my public one, not my private one. Now I'm going to actions import key pair, and I'm going to import this. Let's see, another one. Browse home.ssh. Another one right there. Select, import key pair. Cool. So I have those two. I hope that worked right, because those don't quite look like what I expect them to be. So, cool. So we have our key pairs uploaded. I'm going to also create a key pair from here. Create key pair. Junk. And there's types, RSA and the ED. So it looks like that's the new information. Anyway, PEM, putty, so create key pair. And if you notice, it downloaded this junk PEM. Okay, so what I don't like is, first of all, AWS created this private key for me, so they have it. Number two, when it downloads, it might not download properly. We'll test that. Number three is you've got to back this up, just like you have to back up all your others. But, I mean, it's not in the right directory. So you might forget about it. So, by the way, when I back up my private keys, I usually encrypt them. Because if I'm backing them up, I'm probably taking them off my computer and I encrypt them. My computer's encrypted, so it just makes sense that my backups would be encrypted as well. Okay, so now let's use these. So EC2 dashboard, launch instance, new ed, launch instance, existing key pair, and we want the new ed. Okay. Let that launch instance, new another one, launch instance, another one for the key, and we need to launch one more, launch instance, new junk. And I'm just giving them the name that matches with the key so I can remember. You don't have to. You can call them whatever you'd like. Okay? And I'll show you how to find. So here's the instances, by the way. Where are they all? There they go. So I had to refresh it. So I named them here so I don't have to look at the key. Because if you look here, I don't see the key, right here's the key name, way over here. And you can hide these and stuff, but you can also come to, for example, here's new junk, and you can come and you can see, tenancy. Sorry, my mic's in the way, so if you see me doing weird things with my head, let's see, security. Nope. I thought it was here. Instant details. Keep our junk. So yeah, it was hidden. So you can find, there's a lot of information. There's this metadata, data about data. But for the most part, all I need is I need to know the key, which I kind of put it in the name, and the IP address. So, or the public DNS. So those are what I need. But I can also do that by coming to my Learner Lab and running that command that I put in here in a prior video. I should put that command, well, except for it's messed up still. So I have the information here. Let me get my Linux window and make it a little smaller so I can just a little smaller. Okay, so that way we can see some of the key and the IP address. Okay, so new and let's first shoot the new ed, because it should, I didn't change where it goes. So I should be able to do SSH EC2-user is the user, because it's that's the Linux that I chose. The default user is EC2-user. And then the IP address for new ed is that one. And I should hit enter, and it says, do you really want to connect to this? Yes, because it's a new one. I've never seen it before, and I'm connected. Cool. I'm going to make this long and thin. And then I can come down below. Haha, that's better. Make it a little thicker. Trying to make it so you can see better. Cool. So I connected to the new ed. I'm going to exit. That was the command I used. Once again, SSH is the way to remotely control a server. EC2-user is the default user of that Amazon Linux. And then @ and the IP address. So that was for the new ed. Now let's try and do the same thing with using the another one. Okay. So SSH EC2-user @ and the another one's, that's the IP. Yeah, we're going to do something else. Right click, always on top. You'll see that's going to be nice here in a second. So enter, and it's going to say the same thing. Are you sure you want to connect this? You've never connected to this before. And say, yeah, we trust this one. And it's going to try to connect, and it did, which I'm surprised because it's not. They must add to the path that entire SSH directory. Okay, cool. I am surprised. Okay, so now let's try the same thing with that new junk key. That's the one I created in the AWS. Okay, SSH EC2-user @ new junk. By the way, if you notice, I copied and it didn't jump back. That's because I told this to always be on top. Happy day. Cool things you can do in Linux. You can probably do that in Windows. I'm not sure. And look, it said permission denied. Why? Because it's in the wrong directory. Okay, so it's in the downloads directory. So I can say SSH, and I need to tell it where that key is, -I. And it's in my home directory, so I'm going to do utility downloads, and it's called junk.pem. And I hit enter. And it's still denied because it does not have the proper permissions on it. When I downloaded it, it's too open. Other people can see it. Private keys should not be visible by other people. Now, I say other people on my computer. So I first need to chmod And we'll just do, these are things that you learn in another channel, another playlist, sorry. I'm not going to go too much into chmod. This is just changing the mod of the file, but think about it as the permissions. And we'll do, see, all I need is read. So that's 200, and this file. But sometimes Linux flags things. So let me go back here to junk.pem. Permission denied. Okay, it did not like it. It's because I might need to convert it as well. Anyway, I don't like Amazon's keys. There's so many issues getting it down. Just create your own keys. Create your own key, create it the right way, and only give your public key. Okay? So, what have we done? In this video, we created a bunch of keys. We troubleshot problems. We used multiple keys. We created a bunch of systems. We used the Amazon command line interface. We used the Amazon GUI. Introduced you to another playlist of mine, and actually logged into some servers and did not log into one. I think that's pretty good. Anyway, I hope this helps for those who've been having issues with SSH keys. I hope it helps people understand why I like to create my own. And we'll see you in the next video.